Hello. Thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko Live Streaming. This is Atsushi. The audio is good. Camera is working okay. I think everything is good. So this is the live streaming where I talk about Sashiko while doing Sashiko stitching. And the whole purpose of doing this is to leave something behind without any modification or edit. Also, I would like to make this gathering as the place for anybody to get together, and we call it ibasho for the place to be. For that reason, I do not want to make this live streaming as the tutorials or webinar where I only focus on the techniques. So I'm not going to answer the questions about techniques, but I'm happy to answer the questions about cultural perspective or other requests for the stories. A few announcements. I think I have a few announcements. I am still working on the Sashiko Japan Tour for 2025. And if you'd like to join the interested list, there's a link for that. So if you could check that, that'd be great. And also, there's a website summarizing for the workshop. 2025, I will have 2 workshops in Florida and also in Wisconsin, along to the QuiltCon. I do not offer so many in-person workshops, and I would be very happy to meet for those rare occasions. Many people find many videos about running Stitch Sashiko Zunshin. I believe that though the online class as well as the in-person workshop which I offer can exceed some of those just technique things. It's okay to of course learn from by just watching it, or it is perfectly fine to learn that by somebody who copies that. At the same time, it is quite, I really like to ask to spread the importance of learning from the upstream. So all of the information is on the website, which is on the description. All right, I will switch the camera. Boop, boop. Is the shop site back up and running? Yep, it should be running. Yep, thank you. It was back like a month ago. It was in the in the matter of a few days. Actually a week. Yep, it's Upcycle Stitches is back on running. Thank you so much. Okay, today I would like to I'm tired of this pattern. You probably have seen that so many times. The Asanho patterns is one thing, and I do have 2 more which is still ongoing. And we will go to Japan with 8 of Sashiko friends from across the world in November. We will visit as many Sashiko artisans as possible in Japan and learn from them. Along with that tour, we will try to make one big friendly quilt kind of thing. We will collaborate. We will contribute. We each contribute to make one big piece, and those patterns are one of 4 patterns that I Keiko requested, and it's not like a requirement. It's more like the voluntary challenging kind of thing, but I should probably bring that. I, as the one who lead the tour, should bring one of those. So that's why I'm kind of in hurry. Not in hurry, but I'm trying to complete it as in a good timely manner. I don't want to rush. So I will keep focusing on this. I know it's boring, the same patterns. I have done the, so many of those with the Mizutoshi done actually 2 weeks ago. But bear with me for another few live streaming for this And I will talk about the pattern a little bit because I had a question, or that was not even question. That was more like well, that was actually a question about the pattern. So I will talk about the pattern. Gosh, why is it so sweating? Yeah, so much sweat. Just a second. Did I eat something salty tonight? Maybe so. All right, let's let it run. It's September. What is the best thing to eat before Sashiko? That's a very good question. Nothing would be the answer for that. I used to, well, it's not recommended, but the best sashiko that I have done was the time I was drinking pretty heavily and also smoking all the time without eating much. So that might be the best condition. But I don't know. Eating too much might not be a good effect. At the same time, as I like stitch while eating chips. But you cannot use these two fingers to eat chips because then it's gonna be extremely oily. So I sometimes not right now, not all with live streaming, but when I stitch like very intensively, which I don't anymore, and then that's very unfortunate. But when I was stitching intensively, when I want to snack, I would put the chopsticks here and then bag of the chips here, so that I don't have to use my hand to eat chips. But yeah, I would really recommend drinking. I don't drink anymore, so I don't really drink when I do the live streaming. But if there's nobody around you, or if there's only family around you, and if you enjoy drinking, like alcohol, wine, whiskey, any cocktails, beer, it's pretty fun. I recommend that to the workshop people, I mean, either online class or in person. I kind of joke about it, but it's not really a joke. I pretty much recommend that. But yeah, it depends on when and where you live, I guess. How do you put the patterns on the fabric and keep on there? I won't answer that question because it can be pretty technical. Please check the other videos I have on this channel. Yes, beverage and smoke stuff of creativity. Well, I mean, the drinks and smokings were kind of the way to let it go. So, I have a friend who eat hot Cheetos with chopsticks so she doesn't get Cheetos dust. I pretty much eat everything with chopsticks, even the regular chips, which I probably shouldn't. It's not a good manner, but if there's any chance that I can use chopsticks, I might use chopsticks for the hamburgers too if nobody's looking at it. If it's my house, if nobody's looking at it, I know it's wrong, but I don't know. I feel pretty safe there. There is a sake importer in Berkeley, Sashiko, and sake would be great. Yeah. Visiting my mom is also great too. There are 7 sake brewery in my town, Takayama, and there are 2 within 10-step walking distance, and probably 20 steps. So you can just stitch with my mom, get outside, tasting so-called drinking all kind of sake, which can be quite a good amount. You can bring that to that place. But yeah, so I mean, she doesn't open her studio, her house to everybody else. But I think that's what we're gonna do in November. I guess I grab a shot glass of soju, 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 焼酎かな焼酎 I don't know what soju is. Good evening, Sue. Yeah, so oh my gosh, so slippery today. Well, I know I ate something very salty. For those who would like to eat good sashimi, like raw fish, where you cannot find a good Asian store or raw fish place, I found very good alternative. Oh, soju is the Korean vodka. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I got it. Yes, that'd be nice. So for those who wants to eat like nice tuna, but no places to buy, like Japanese store or Asian stores to buy those, and no fisherman's wharf or nice fish store nearby. Uh, I hope that your place has Aldi nearby, and in the Aldi, you can get frozen ahi tuna. I think it's called ahi tuna. But that it's like $6 for 3 pieces or something like that. So it's not really that expensive. It's not that costly. And that frozen ahi tuna, it says that sashimi grade. It says that like for the tuna steaks, but it also says that sashimi grade. So I tried that, and without no preparation, if you just um, thaw it, like melt it, to bring back to the nice fridge temperature, and then unfreeze it and eat it, that tastes horrible. It's pretty fishy. No, like it doesn't taste so good. But if you can soak that raw tuna into the olive oil and soy sauce and a bit of sugar in it, and then put it overnight. Well, to be honest, 2 days might be better, but just quite big amount of olive oil and soy sauce. But we call it zuke. It's more like a pickled raw fish. Well, we soak into the soy sauce liquid overnight. And because of that olive oil, I guess, that kind of tastes good. And I've been doing that last few months. But I found some, you know, I forgot to eat it, and I found kind of old one, and it smelled a little bit strange, suspicious. So today I kind of grilled it, and when grilling that raw fish, the saltiness goes kind of subtle, so I had to add a little more soy sauce, and I think that's a pretty good amount of soy sauce that I shouldn't be taking. That is why my hands are sweating. Anyway, if you're looking for the raw fish, if you live in like a San Francisco or New York or any other places where you can get raw fish easily, please don't do that. It's it's like a one last, how can I say, really emergency kind of thing. But since I don't have any place nearby where they sell raw fish, that one was kind of good. I mean, Aldi is kind of saving my life right now. I don't know if you like Aldi or not, but do I have a favorite dish to cook? Oh, I don't know. That's a good question too. I don't have a talent in sashiko. I'm not really talented in sashiko. It's not only my opinion, but I like really I feel that way. But I think I do have a bit of a talent in cooking, so I don't. I can. I can recreate a lot of food. Not like professionally. So I enjoy cooking a lot, and if they ask me to cook something, I probably can. So for that Japanese food, I can cook most of them, especially if they specify what they want to try. Oh my. So the pattern is like the food as well. It's kind of difficult to define which food belongs to which culture. I mean, of course, we can probably track the origin, but the patterns are same as well. Like sometimes the diamond shaped pattern called Hisashi. Some people say that it's Japanese geometric patterns, but sometimes probably we can find it in the Silk Road, similar one. And some of them became some symbolic patterns for the Japanese culture, like shippo, which I don't have right now, but like this pattern is quite symbolic for the Asanohan shippo. We can find very, very, very. We can find many of those on many product design, architectures, wooden work, textile work, you name it. There are so many art or creation with using those geometric patterns. Those patterns that I'm stitching, including that's not a sashiko patterns, that's just geometric patterns. I'm using the geometric patterns on the fabric with Sashiko principle approach. So I don't think there's any like a cultural appropriation in terms of patterns. If I say that this pattern belongs to me, that's pretty wrong statement because it does not. Same as Sashiko. Sashiko does not belong to me. I don't own it. That's why I don't want to define it so easily. I may sometimes sound like I'm the authority in this because I have to speak up, but at the same time, if I think that I'm the authority, then that's the end of this culture. Sashiko does not need the authority. So sometimes kumiko is the wooden work using a lot of geometric patterns, and some people are very careful and respectful to use those patterns, and I really appreciate it. At the same time, I don't think that they need to be that careful. Like a little bit of a care is very appreciated and important. But I have a very strong truth. I think this is a quite good phrasing to explain quite good amount of what is going on about cultural appropriation. If, well, not even if, when you worry about that culture, if no, sorry, when you worry about the practice that if you are appropriating the culture, you probably don't have to worry about it that much because you're trying to respect it already. And in order to fully respect it, then it's gonna be, difficult, different story. Sometimes that might require language, or sometimes it might require the birth, which nobody can control it. Like if I say that you have to be born as a Japanese to practice Sashiko, that's a little too much approach to me. I don't believe that. So if you worry about it, I think that's a very good start, and that's a very good amount of care that you can do to draw the good borderline there. Does anyone have a pattern they like for adding warmth, especially? Well, that's probably for others. If you ask my favorite patterns, probably I would do this, especially for the purpose of adding the warmth. It's easiest. It's pretty systematic. It's a lot of stitching too, so. So I don't find those who use the geometric patterns, or even if they call it Japanese patterns or Japanese traditional patterns, I don't find it disrespectful at all. And I don't think it's any issues for that. I mean, I believe that, not even believe, I'm very sure that a patent is very important, and also copyright is very, very important. So I'm not recommending to copy it. At the same time, certain things can be public domain, and those geometric patterns can be a very, very obvious public domain. But yeah, many people say that I should really protect Sashiko from the legal perspective, like intellectual property and everything. I have been thinking about it, but at the same time, I will probably not. That's because if somebody owns it, that's the beginning of ending. And I do not trust myself for that neither. If I have a lot of Sashiko I like and I don't like. And if I would have that legal power, I don't know what my word may be the answer, and that's really not the ideal case. Of course, by not doing anything, of course, I carry the risk of somebody doing that. At the same time, I think the world with the internet can prevent somebody owning some culture which does not belong to them. So that can be another way to advocate the importance of speaking up and protecting the culture. So legal system is a very, very, very good system to how can I say, to protect systematically, but that will open up a completely different world in Sashiko, as there were no legal battle in Japan about what Sashiko was and what Sashiko is. And I want to keep it that way. And it may sound pretty naive, but I think it's going to open up another battle and trademark is different. Like if I say that Upcycle Stitches is my workshop, not a workshop, Upcycle Stitches is my business name, and if I take that Upcycle Stitches as a trademark, that's a different story. But I don't think Upcycle Stitches have that much name value at this moment. So it's quite difficult. I mean, my goal is not to protect my or our profit. My goal is to protect or preserve the culture itself. So it does not have to be me, to be honest. I think I'm quite a unique one who has been thinking about Sashiko last 30 years, 40 years. So anybody can else take my place if they want to. But that person, I want him or her to be quite committed. Not like somebody who moved to different hobby when Sashiko's boom is over or trend is over. So I won't go into the legal system to protect. And it's the beginning of one ending. I wouldn't like that. You're working from the back of the fabric? Yep, I don't know who taught you that, but we work on the wrong side. Like 95%. I don't know who taught you that. I hope it was a Japanese. Sometimes people teach out of nowhere. Candida, good. Long time no see. Good seeing here. Yeah, you moved to London and it's not the best time. It's not the best time for the European people in Europe. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for coming at 2:25 in the morning. I know. I really know that I'm not doing the very best thing for the people in Europe, but this is my good time to stitch, so I appreciate you coming. But 2:25, wow. So yeah, pattern doesn't, well, some patterns, for example, I sometimes write down the Keiko 16, Keiko 17, Keiko 19. Those are the pattern that my mother decided to combine those geometric patterns in one design plate. So we can list all the designs, but it's kind of longer name. So it's just for the figure of naming it, but we never say that that's only ours or original. So if you decided to copy it, go ahead. If you like to just stitch it, there's a pattern and there's a pattern, there's a fabric pattern pre-printed. Those are the fabric that we decided to not to prepare by ourselves because of the work. In Uruguay, it's 10:30 p.m. So 1 hour ahead. Good morning from Mauritius. 5:30 here. Wow, good morning to you. Wow. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough for that. Thank you. At least the house is quiet in the wee hours. Yeah, my house is quiet too. That's good. Well, probably my daughter is still awake. She's supposed to go to bed by 10, but right now probably she's awake. But hey, what can we do? I don't know who started teaching that we have to doesn't matter which side you're stitching on, both of them can be right. But the Sashiko we practice, we stitch from the wrong side, and we have reason for that too. There's a pretty good reason we stitch from the wrong side, and so if there's any stories behind it, that's perfectly fine. There might be the project. I might sometimes stitch from the front if there's a reason for that. I hope that those teachers who teach right now, let's say that if there are the teachers who say that you have to stitch from the front side, I hope they're not saying just because. Just because is the worst way to teach something cultural, because that means that they don't know it. There's no such a thing as just because when you know the stories behind it. There are reasons pretty much in everything. Like, why do you need Sashiko thread? Why do you need Sashiko needles? Why? What is the best way to do that? Always there are answers for that. It's not like a right answer or wrong answer. There's always a reply when you ask to somebody who's do Sashiko stitching. But usually, especially if they're teaching, they should have reason verbalized behind it. Some of those artisans don't know why, because they're not really trained to verbalize what they are doing it. But those people are not good at speaking in front of the others, from my experience, so they don't really teach too. So oh shoot, I am stitching on corduroy today, and I'm doing my stitches on the front side. Well, it happens. It happens. That's another reason I like stitching from the wrong side. I don't confuse those. Wow. Jumping the project is a very good way to enjoy Sashiko, but sometimes it's always good to be mindful, yet we don't become mindful when you do Sashiko jumping around. So my question is very simple, but for me the most difficult is to choose the direction and not lost in the process. Yeah, that's the joy part. That is the joy part. There's no answer for that. It's really not I would not want somebody to define where to go. So it's like a choice. Like where to go, what kind of patterns to stitch, or where to go in that patterns is going to change the look of Sashiko and the character of Sashiko. So I don't want anybody to define that, because that's the fun part of Sashiko, as well as that's gonna be the kind of key core part of it. If it's like dinner or something, I can probably ask somebody to decide. But if it's little more than dinner, let's say, well, I know I don't want to say it's bigger than dinner though. I thought of the college, but it's not really. The college is too much. Something a little bit between dinner and college. Something that you might want to decide by yourself. So if another wrong teaching, I don't know why I'm listing a lot of wrong teaching today, but if there are teachers who says that you must follow this direction, that's wrong. There's no such a thing as you must to follow. It's like saying like you must eat bread every single morning. Eating rice is, well, actually, let's do opposite. You must eat rice every single morning because all Japanese eat rice in the morning, so you have to eat rice every morning. Well, you can eat rice every morning, but you can also eat bread if you want to. It does not define one as Japanese or not. Sashiko is too. If you want to stitch the way you want to stitch, go ahead. It does not define your Sashiko. But it will define your Sashiko eventually. Yep, it's like a labyrinth at some point, and then losing where to go is also, it's a good experience, good time. Oh, still a long way to go. Oh, by the way, I did not answer the question because that was more like how to prepare the patterns on the fabric. Traditionally speaking, we prepare the patterns either using the rulers, like rulers, or rulers. Using like drawing the grid and then drawing those patterns are the kind of orthodox way. At the same time, you can of course transfer the patterns with using the transfer papers. If you're gonna work on something very specific design like family crest, logos, name, your face, something specific, transferring the patterns, or transferring the design with using the transfer paper is very, very convenient. But I don't prepare these patterns using the transfer paper much. I use the actual drawing. I mean, the pencil and rulers, really, brick and stone way to do that. At the same times, when we have a lots of same thing like this, these 4 patterns that we are working on right now, we need at least 20 of those each to, 20 total. So 5 each was the minimum. And we are trying to make two project within Japan and outside of Japan. So we needed 10 each, right? 10 each total, and drawing the same patterns for 10 each, total of 40 is a little bit insane amount of work. So we decided to create the panel for the silk screening. So for those 3 fabric, there's one more pattern, but those patterns are already pre-printed on the fabric with the washable ink. It took quite a long time to come up with the washable ink for the silk screening, but we have it now. And so this can be the washable. This patterns will be washed away after in the process of mizutoshi. And we made extra when we prepare that. So we have, I think I have 3 each or something. Wait, did I stitch one? Oh, I don't know exactly how many I have, but I have several left from that project that I sent to the my friends who are gonna come to Japan together. So those are the fabric with the patterns on. We can probably remake it. We can ask the artisans to reprint again, but if it's 1 or 2, I may just draw it. You may answer, like you may wonder, Why does the ink have to be washable? Well, it doesn't have to, especially if you're gonna cover the wrong side. Um, there's no need to make it washable, but the reason um, many places sell the pattern with washable ink is because that's what Sashiko is about. May use both sides as a finish side. So yeah, the pattern itself, I don't think. If I'm wrong, please advise me for that. But pattern, especially the traditional or geometric patterns, I don't think there is the ownership for that. Yeah, I probably am. I'm probably right on this. There was a little bit of like legal glitch or legal nasty. It wasn't nasty, but there was a little legal dispute. I mean, it's lawsuit probably. Legal dispute means lawsuit. I think it's the Kimetsu no Yaiba. The Demon Slayer, the anime Demon Slayer tried to put this pattern on somewhat pattern somehow. Not the pattern itself, but something. I don't know, the cloth with these patterns on in a specific. I have no idea, but that became a little bit of an issue for those who use this pattern on the fabric and then do like mass production to sell things. So many people said it does not, it cannot be owned by somebody specific or some company specific. Ah. I've been using the Crayola Ultra Wash. Wow. Crayola is great. We have the headquarters nearby here. Not near, but 3 hours away. And yeah, that's a very good washable marker. Problem is that they don't have white. So that's the only problem. When I work on denim, that wouldn't be the issue. Yeah, I don't think they have white. And your finger will be very colorful. That would be the drawback. Wow, so slippery. Come on. Temperature shouldn't be that much issue. Yeah, I cannot believe that I'm gonna be in Japan in 2 months. Wow. It's pretty scary once again. Yep. Well, today's topic was very short. When I was preparing the live streaming, like, wow, today's topic might be very, very short, and I won't have much to talk about. But I didn't have any other topic, and I got a question about this, so I hope that I answer the question too. But well, I do still have 2 months, so this should be done. This can be done with no issues. So, sweetie, is it hot today? It may be hot, warm today. It has been very cold, but not a cold, very cool. But today might be a little chilly. I mean, today might be a little hot. That's why. Hmm. So today's lesson, don't eat something salty before you start stitching. I don't know, like, I don't know about this much sweat. The reason of this much sweat. Is there anything that I should be worried about? So much sweat on the hand? I don't really sweat on my hand that much in usual case. It's very personal, so it does not really relate to Sashiko, but a few months ago I got the gout for the first time in my life. I knew it would come because my father had it, my grandfather had it, pretty much everybody in my family had it. So I know that I would get gout, Gout, like the pain on the feet. And I was kind of waiting to happen because many of my family got it when they were 30s, and I became 40 without having it. So right after I became not right out, right before I became 41, I got gout attack. That was pretty painful, so I probably have to really start thinking about my health, which I am just saying, so I'm not gonna probably care that much. Like my point is that it's not like it's urine acid. The high urine acid is gonna make this happen, but it does not mean that high urine acid does not mean that everybody with high urine acid get it. And it's really personal. I mean, there's many individual differences, and my number is not that high. It's not even the red zone. It's kind of green to yellow. So doctor did not even prescribe the medication to lower that level. So it's just not fair, but that's something I have to deal with. Oops. You're watching carefully. That's good. I have many videos explaining each step, so. And if you need more help, please take my online class and or in-person class. That will open up the tour to Japan. Anxious, nervous? Wow, I'm nervous on the live streaming, probably. Diet? I'm not on diet. I wish I were. Not I wish, I were. I not even should, I have to probably, but not at this moment. I think it's the temperature. I feel a little bit of sweat around my neck now. It is the temperature. I thought that was, yeah. When you stream, you sweat a lot. Usually I'm okay. Well, I turned off all the ACs and the fans here, so that's probably the case too. Ah, well, time flies very fast. It's been stitching 50, not every years, 50 hours, not hours. Come on, 50 minutes. Not recently, but until very recent, like last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I used to receive many questions about pain, I would say pain, or there was a I received quite many questions about the pain that they are suffering from by doing Sashiko. Like they cannot stitch more than a few hours because of the shoulder pain, arm pain, wrist pain, supposedly caused by doing Sashiko. I could not answer those questions because I really don't have the pain by doing it. I mean, I do have a gout. I did have a gout reaction, but no neck, no shoulder, no arm for that matter. So I think they're stressed out, I guess, too much. Well, we are all stressed out under this economy, not economy, under this society. Well, economy too, I guess, for that matter. But it has been, well, I don't really use the muscle when I do Sashiko, which is not good. Which is good for the pain. I'm relaxed. My body is very in a good condition, but it means that I'm not using any body muscle, so I really have to do exercise more. But because it's a very ordinary practice by Japanese, sorry, very ordinary practice, pain shouldn't be bothering too much. I mean, of course, everybody has different issues. If you have arthritis or something like that, specific one, then that might be the issue. But sometimes many people come to workshop with the arthritis and they're okay. They will find their own point. So if you need help for that, I probably can help too. I have ooh. Sorry, I cannot read that. Arthritis, so I have to be careful how long I stitch, but I have done it for 6-ish hours and been fine. 6 hours is my limit for art. For art making, for like drawing, I think a few hours is my limit. Like, I cannot focus more than a few hours. Actually, not even a few hours, an hour probably. Sashiko, I think I can do pretty much forever. Forever. If I don't have to prepare any dinners, if I don't have to clean, if I don't have to do anything, I probably can do 24 hours or more than that. If I don't have to sleep, I probably can do forever. And when I say that, you probably say, well, he's saying that. So I was more, how can I say, more entertaining back then, a few years ago. And I said that some people say, well, no, 24 hours is a little bit exaggerating it. So you cannot do that. So I do have that recorded on this live streaming somewhere. It's I think it's 3 set of 8 hours, non-stop though. So if you'd like to waste your time, please enjoy that. I cannot remember when exactly, so please look for that. Okay. And this will take a little more. I think I can have enough time for the live streaming if I keep doing this. That's good. That's good. I probably won't do this in the live streaming because it's I have to be quiet. It ruins the rhythm. Not a The rhythm is so small that I have to probably focus more. So if I have to focus more, I won't be able to read and comment and then speak simultaneously while stitching. I can probably listen to somebody speaking, but you know, doing something might require more time. So this one will be, I won't be able to do that on live streaming. Sometimes later I will do this one. And probably, I don't know, if it depends on the time I have, I might go to the fourth one. But yeah, those are gonna be the part of the big project in the future, which I hope that I can share. Wait. This is good, right? Oh. Okay. I think I did not do anything. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I hope you had a good time. It's a little bit before 10, but I gotta go, and it's sweating. I keep sweating. It's the heat. The room is pretty hot for some reason. So I think I shouldn't stitch in this heat. My hands are sweating too much. All right, thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko Live streaming on Thursday night. If you could click the like button, that'd be really helpful for me to keep this channel healthy. And I will keep having the live streaming on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the best time for me to be online, so I hope you can come back next week. And if you have any questions about the cultural stories about Sashiko or around it, please leave the comment. If you are watching this as an archive, I will try to bring it back to the next live streaming. All right. All right. Have a good night. Bye bye.